brass letters proclaimed, "Respect the past, protect the future." Though that was what Uncle Charlie had said to me, I still didn't understand it. The school was so quiet, so plush. I was reminded of that funeral parlor where Uncle Charlie's service had been held. Mom moved me toward a door that said school office. As she opened it, she whispered, "Try to look as if you're glad to be here." She must have read my mind, because by then I was already thinking, this school is weird. The school office was a room cut in half by a long counter and desk. Walls were fine wood, the deep carpet golf course green, the air smelling like fake pine air. Sitting behind the desk was an elderly woman clutching a landline phone in her knuckle-knobbed hand. Her thin gray and straggly hair and wrinkled face and neck made her look as if she had been roosting behind that desk for 100 years. Either she was using eyeshadow, or she had trouble sleeping. Her thin white lips grimaced while saying into the phone, "Thanks for calling, Miss Morris. I'm sure Emma will be better soon." The second she hung up, another call rang. "So sorry," the woman said to us, and took up the phone again. I gazed about the room. A big leather-covered couch, like a partially deflated rhinoceros, stood against one wall. On a nearby table, maybe 100 school yearbooks were neatly lined up, the dates on their spines reminding me of a row of tombstones. School brochures were spread out in a fan. On the wall over the table was a huge gold-framed painting of an old lady sitting in a bulky, throne-like chair. Her fierce, dark-eyed, jut-chinned face was long and narrow, with high cheekbones. Her lips were tight and pale. Black hair was piled atop her head, while her neck was encased in a stiff collar. Black-gloved hands were clutching armrests. It was as if the chair were plunging down, and the old girl was not happy about where she was headed. Finding the image unsettling, I turned away. On the opposite wall hung another large framed painting. This one was of a boy, maybe 12 years old like me, with blonde curly hair. His jacket and trousers were dark green. A white lace collar circled his neck like a fancy noose. His shoes were high-buttoned and polished. His hands were by his sides, balled in tense, tight fists. But what really held my attention were the boy's pale face and eyes full of dread, as if something awful was coming right at him. And oddly, I had the sensation I'd seen him before. Not that I could recall where. The woman at the desk hung up her phone, and with sarcasm thick as old pancake syrup said, "Forgive me. Bad weather, sick children. May I help you?" Mom pulled me from the boy's painting. "I'm Ellie Gilbert," she said. "This is Anthony, my son. He's starting school today." For a moment, the woman stared at me with great intensity, until her face abruptly softened. "Oh, yes, Tony Gilbert. Of course. Our new student. Welcome to the Penda School," she said, as if embarrassed by her first reception. "We're so glad you're here. I'm Mrs. Zobolink, or Mrs. Z, as the young people have been calling me for more years than I wish to count. Dear me, what a day to begin. I assure you, storms like this are so rare in San Francisco." Abruptly, she stopped talking and went back to considering me as if I were a specimen on a dissecting table. Breaking the awkward silence, Mom said, "I guess Tony needs to get to class." Mrs. Z yanked back to life. "Forgive me. I'm sure you're eager. But Miss Foxton, school head, likes to welcome new students. This way, please. She's expecting you." I hated school officials. Back in Connecticut,